Welcome back to the Royalty. I am the only host here again, but I am joined with Heidi from season 44, runner up. Because I don't think some people know that you are runner up, okay? Icon.
Yes.
And she is going to recap Survivor 46 with me and correct me on everything I've been doing wrong because she knows more about the game. She knows how to say the damn tribe's name. But Heidi, please introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you're from. Come on, give us a little background.
All right. Thank you for having me. I am Heidi from Survivor 44, just like he said. And spoiler alert, all the big D already said it. I was runner up of Survivor 44. And I live in Pittsburgh. I have a full-time job, but I do this for fun because I love Survivor so much, which is why I got involved with it. What else? I'm from Puerto Rico, so that's a little bit of my background, and I'm sure a lot of my story behind Survivor will probably come up as we talk through the episode of 46.
Yes, I will say hola.
Yes, hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenas
¿Cómo
noches.
estás? Muy bien.
Exactly right.
I'm
Muy
not
bien.
calling you this, but I do know the word buta, if I'm
Oh,
correct.
I won't say it. I won't say what it
Oh,
means.
oh, Heidi, of course, you're just not on Survivor. You're also a super mom to two beautiful girls, if I'm correct, okay?
That's right.
And me and Heidi, in case you guys don't know, me and Heidi will be in Pittsburgh, okay, for the Survivor event, of course, by Bryson Wendell, which will be, I think it's like an April 3rd, if I'm correct. And
That's
then we
correct.
also have a charity event, Heidi, if I'm correct, the basketball event, that's this Saturday, which should be, if
April
I'm
April
April
6th. So
6th. And what is
yeah,
it called, Heidi?
the foundation is called La Promesa, and there is a guy here in Pittsburgh who founded it, and now there's a full board behind it, and it's to help for scholarships of young kids that are going to college with Hispanic background around the Western Pennsylvania colleges. So it's a really good cause, and a lot of
It
us get
is.
involved.
Yes, we have a good time. Let me tell you something. People don't know. Out of all the events that I go to, Pittsburgh feels very like, what's the word? Like, I feel like it's such a bond for us. Like, we really do get a chance to hang out. Where other events, it feels like we're like rushing, and then we're in and out. But this one actually feels like we get to know each other, and it's a lot of fun. So if you guys don't know about it, or if you're in the Pittsburgh area, please come out to, both events, come support. We're all about charity. But Heidi, I want to talk more about you. Season 44, about, if I'm correct, about a year ago or 2 years
Oh
ago,
my
remember?
God. So, like second episode would have been essentially around this time for us. So
Yes.
literally, it was airing a whole year ago. It's incredible to think that it went by so fast like that.
Heidi, I still can't get over. I remember I feel like when I first met you, and I feel like I asked you, because of course I always try to like tell people, don't tell me, but then I like to guess, and then you were just like, I remember I got worried because I remember there was the episode I thought you were going. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God. And I'm like watching you watch the episode, and you're like cool and calm. And I'm like, does she know is she about to go home? Like, I was freaking out. And I remember you told me, don't worry. And then when we got to finale night, I could not believe that you were like in the final. Like, I couldn't believe it. I would never thought.
Yeah.
But you played a hell of a game, Heidi. Now, Heidi, tell us
Yes.
something that maybe like, I guess like you did it is, Survivor. Give us a little like, what was your experience like? Maybe for just advice for anybody that might be going on the show, or maybe just advice for, I don't know, even players that are playing now. Like, give us your little feedback.
So first of all, I love the show. So if you love the show, go for it, right? Like, if this is a dream for me, I tried thinking they would never ever call me, and it became a reality for me. So the very first thing is at least give it a try. Be yourself in the video. And Big D, I'm sure you had your own experience with your casting process. So be yourself, be authentic. I always tell everyone who applies and they ask me for advice, I always say, don't keep, talking like this. This is Heidi. No, be out there, just be super energetic, but keep it real, right? That's number one. In general, it's an amazing experience. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, right? Like, it's like you kind of learn who you are, your weaknesses, your strengths. I came into the game with a plan and I stuck with it pretty decently. But part of it, at least for me, was completely not being myself out there, because I knew being myself could also like not help my game. But I do think, like, if there's a lot about being yourself and you know, just sticking with your strategy and trying to be yourself within the experience, do it, right? It's super, for me, a lot of it was representation. And if you look different and you sound different, I always say that was my why. So please be yourself. And if you're different, show them you're different. Because I think it's super important that other people, we get to inspire other people to keep trying. So if you and I, Big D, we can be role models for the next Big D and the next Heidi. That's amazing. So yeah, go out, represent, be different, and be yourself, and have the best time.
I agree with that, Heidi, but I'm gonna tell everybody right now: be Heidi, don't be Big D. You get your ass in trouble. Don't be Big D, Lord. Let's just have one Big D, and we gonna call it a day. But look, Heidi, I want to get into tonight's episode, okay? And of
Yes.
course, please correct me on all these tribes or what I'm saying and people's names, because I still don't know how to say their names. We start off with is it Yanyu? Did I say that right?
I think it's Yanu.
You think it's Yanyu? Okay, Yanyu.
Yeah, Yanu. Oh, you did the same thing in Big Brother.
Okay, so wait, one more time. Yanyu?
Yanu. I
Yanu.
think. It's close enough. That's good enough. The
Whatever. We
purple,
just gonna call look,
the
we just gonna
purple,
call it this. We
the purple tribe.
purple tribe on the royalty podcast. We have a lot of Big Brother fans that probably don't watch Survivor, so they just want to. I go by colors in this class. I tell everybody we do colors, but I try my best to say the tribes. But we started with the purple tribe. We start off with, if it's Benyu, that's what
Well,
we're gonna call her.
okay.
Or
Let's go for it. Banu.
what do you think it is? Banyu.
Banu. Yeah. Close.
Banyu. Okay. So we start with Banyu saying that he's nervous, he's a little bit like anxious. He's also glad that, tribal just happened. We just got rid of, I call him David Jenkins Sky. We just got rid of David Jenkins Sky, okay? He's nervous because he's like, I'm nervous, and then he's also like happy that they all voted together, okay? Kenzie takes this moment, right? And I want to know what your thoughts on this. Kenzie takes this moment to talk to Benyu and Jessica. She pulls them and is like, hey, let's go look for crabs, okay? Or whatever. Go look for something by the rocks. She kind of goes into picking their head, because I will say this, they're playing the game, okay? And she kind of goes in saying, what do you guys think should get rid of? Okay. And they give her nothing. She says, we should get rid of the strong players. Now, with something like this, Heidi, do you think this was smart of her to do? Or do you think because to me, she's giving very messy, which for me watching, I'm loving. But
It's
what do
loving,
you
yeah.
think?
Well, so I think she is kind of throwing some seeds there. Like, hey, there's the three of us, and clearly the strong people were not part of that three. So I could see where her head is at, right? Like, okay, there's the three of us. How do I convince them with being us against them? So the first thing that probably comes to mind is like us against the strength. The part that I didn't understand that much, I get the fact that like Banu and Jess wouldn't say a name. Sometimes it gets messy if you're the first one throwing a name out there, because then it kind of comes back to you. so I could understand not saying a name, but I also couldn't understand how they just didn't go with it. Like, I mean, you have to understand part of the strategy is, you have that plan. Okay, yeah. Even if you
Yeah,
don't
like I don't
agree.
understand why they're not like, yeah, sure. Like bullshit. Like it's like bullshit, okay?
Yeah, so for anyone who may want to play Survivor or not listening to this, I mean, you kind of go with it even if you don't want to. I think it's
True.
so important to just get, like, someone is asking you to be in an alliance, you never say no to that. That breaks a bridge. You want to build bridges. Even if you don't say a name, even if you don't follow through, don't quite disagree. Like, hear them out and just be at the very least like,
Yes.
yeah, sure.
Right, sure, and I agree with that. But here's the thing: then we cut to Heidi. Then we cut to Q having a
Hmm.
conversation with Tiffany while they're gone, kind
Yeah.
of saying that they're a little bit worried about Jessica. They feel like she's a threat. I mean, Jessica definitely is a threat, even though like I see the way she moves. Her game is great, but it's just showing a lot because of how small the tribe is. Okay.
Hmm. Well,
We
I
cut.
don't know. Was it Jessica or they were talking about Kenzie? I think they
Oh,
were
I'm
talking.
so sorry. We're talking about Kenzie Lord. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. That's why you're here,
yeah.
Heidi. Because I would have had this all fucked up. They would have been like, Big D, what are you talking about? Yes, we're talking about
Kenzie.
Kenzie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I could see what they're saying because you can see Kenzie is approaching everyone, and if that's the right thing to do, be a social butterfly, like everyone, make everyone like you, kind of thing. That's how you win the game. So I do. I mean, I could see why they were saying it, and I don't think there's anything too bad about what Kenzie did because he's just trying to be the social butterfly that you kind of. It's a true social experiment, and you want everyone
Yeah.
to like you. But you
Yeah.
kind of have to hide that a little bit. So maybe we'll see if that
Yes.
plays out for Kenzie or not.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see how they, when we get to that. So we cut to Nami, if I'm correct about that, Orange Tribe.
Hmm.
Venus is feeling on the outside of the tribe. She really feels like no one can trust her. She feels like Tevin and Soda are running the tribe, and she
Hmm.
can't make us an emotional connection. Okay, do you see that? Because I definitely see Soda and Kevin running the tribe as of like social
Tevin.
threats. Tevin, excuse me,
Yeah.
Tevin and Soda. I feel like they are running the tribe. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's what it sounds like to me. But you know what surprises me? Like Venus is beautiful girl in the real world.
beautiful,
She would
beautiful.
probably be like running the show, right? Like when you
Running the show.
right? Isn't that it's so interesting to me how the pretty girl is the one that's feeling that outside of the whole
Yes,
thing. But
yes,
but but it's I love it. I love the fact that it's different and it's like not really what you would expect if you look at
yes,
them. Um
yes.
so it brings very interesting things, but I have to say when it comes down to personality, at least from the edit, right? Because we haven't quite seen every single one
Correct,
highlighted, but
correct.
I freaking love Tevin. I freaking love Soda. Their energy they're giving me is like, give me more. I need more of them for sure.
Yes, I'm loving their energy. And I will say this. I'm loving Venus's energy too. And the reason why I'm loving it, like you said, Heidi, that is a great statement that you said. Like in normal games, like you said, someone like that would be like having
Killing it.
everyone around them, throwing themselves at her and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And that's what I love about Survivor, how diversified it is and how times has changed. And we're showing how the real world is. Like this is a social experience, and I love that. We cut
Hmm.
to Sigga, which is the Green Tribe.
Hmm.
Ben talks about having a stutter and a lisp and how music has helped him. And then Tim has a conversation. I found this very important. Tim has a conversation with Ben and Charlie. He's talking about how Maria has an extra vote and how we need to either like get rid of her or work with her. And then we kind of cut to, which I found this very interesting, and I want to get your thoughts on this. We cut to Charlie having a conversation with Maria and basically making like this, like ride or die, like to the end type of bond. And they compare themselves to Malcolm and Denise from Survivor 26.
Hmm.
What did you think about them kind of making that so early on, like my ride or die? Because like Heidi, who was your ride or die your season?
My ride or die was Danny, and towards the end, I felt like I needed to separate myself from him in order to propel my game, which is why the things happened the way it happened.
Yeah.
I kind of I love the Green Tribe. Okay, maybe I have a soft spot. I was
Because
green.
you were green?
I was Green tribe. So I see it, and they're both look so close to the same ones we had, etc. So I have biases, I must say it, right? But I love the green tribe. Ben, oh my God, how not to love Ben?
I do like Ben.
Rock on Ben, right?
Yes.
I love everyone in the green tribe. The whole Charlie's Angel, the whole Maria. My kids, when they saw Maria, first thing they said, that's mommy in 46.
Oh.
So I love Maria for that, right? And then Charlie keeps talking about Taylor Swift. In 2 episodes, both of them, he talked about Taylor Swift. So of course my kids are like, I love Charlie too. So anyway, I think in general we're loving the Green Tribe. They're killing it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the whole like Metallica against Taylor Swift, I cannot. I mean, the producers are having
Yes.
a good time with the edits.
Yes.
They have 2 full hours, so it's so freaking
Yeah.
fun for what they're doing there. And I don't
Yeah.
know if I answer your thing, but in general, I do think
Yeah.
I think it's normal for Survivor when you have goodies, like whether it's an idol, an advantage, or an extra vote, whatever, to, if you say it to everyone or say it to people, like if you don't keep it to yourself, it's gonna come back and haunt you. It's gonna be, some people are gonna use it for their advantage, other people are gonna use it to vote you out. And Maria chose to tell everyone, so I think she's gonna have to deal with the consequences. A little bit
She
sad that she
is.
told everyone, but at the same time, it was not a secret, right? She went in the journey, everyone saw her with something.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that you have to make a choice, and she's gonna have to deal with the consequences of that.
And let me tell you this, Heidi, she does remind me of you for sure. Like when I saw her, I was
You
like,
see?
that's Heidi. And the cut to that, yes, that whole Taylor Swift and the Metallica, I think it's great for the kids. I will say this. I was kind of like everybody else, like, girl, we got it. I don't want to hear no more about Taylor Swift. I don't care. Let's keep it pushing. Why are we talking about this? But I get it. Like, this is what we're making a TV show here. But we cut to, I'm going to cut back because this is where we get to the important part. We cut back to the Orange Tribe, which is Nami, and Venus goes looking for an idol, okay, because she, once again, she knows that, Tevin and Soda, like she just feels like she needs to go look for it. This is Survivor.
So
Hunter,
it was Venus, Hunter, and Random. Yeah.
yes, that went to go look for the idol, but Randon finds the idol, and of course, it's a beware advantage. Heidi, let me ask you one question before we get into this. How do you feel about this beware advantage, like idols? Because you can't just find an idol nowadays. It's like, baby, you got to go through a whole like temple run of adventures. Like you're going through like what's his name from the movie? What's his name? Damn, I forgot. Where he's like running from the tombstone. Like you, whatever his name, Indiana Jones. Like you got to go through Indiana Jones to get this damn fucking idol. It's crazy to me. Like I'm like, damn, what's next?
Well, they are hard, but at the same time, you're playing the game. So when you see be aware or whatever they call it, beware advantage, I feel like it's gonna be hard to find someone who's gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna risk it, right? I'm just gonna put it back. So I do think it's like part of the game. You just deal with the consequences. I actually was very impressed with Tiffany in episode 1. I know we're talking about 2, but I have to give her
Oh,
a
please,
shout out
please, yeah,
because
please.
she like it's not an idol yet until you figure the whole thing out, and the way she figured that out, I remember they put a clip of Kenzie was like, okay, sure, whatever you think, like, and like her mind went in a different way to figure it out. So that was so awesome to see in the first one. So for this second one, I could understand him also sharing it with Venus because you don't have a vote, so now it's super critical to find some allies, and perhaps get some help to figure this out too. So
Yeah.
they haven't quite shown us how this is gonna work out for him. But yeah, I think in Survivor you kind of have to go for it. I mean, do I like it? Probably not as much,
Yeah.
but it's one of those where like you have to risk it, and hopefully you get the biscuit at some point.
Because you believe that he told, like, here's the thing. Can you believe that he told Venus about it? Like, Rand didn't tell him Venus? Like, I was gagged. I was kind of like, whoa. Like,
Maybe
okay,
maybe she's using her charm now, right? Like, okay,
yeah.
maybe I don't
But I
know. We
think
didn't
he's
see
also,
it.
the way I got from Randy, the thing I got from Randy is just like he's just kind of like he's not really feeling like everybody else is all the way there. So
Yeah.
I mean, to tell you the truth, it's a smart move because why? If you see her as a threat, you know she's a threat. You can kind of get her out when you want to get her out. You can
Yeah.
put her on your side. So I gotta give him kudos for that.
And she's a number. She's a number. Like
Yes,
don't ever discount anybody out of the game. So
never.
I mean he's utilizing her because she knows she doesn't have a whole lot, probably,
Yeah.
right? So I think yeah, it could really be a good thing for her. I mean for him and for her. But the problem is he needs more than just her because he doesn't
He
have a vote.
does.
So this is a numbers
Yeah.
game. He's gonna need someone additionally than someone else besides Venus to help him out. We'll
Yeah.
see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, we do cut to because we kind of went over everything. We cut to the challenge, okay? And I missed it in the beginning, but maybe you could tell me, Heidi, was Soda and Benyu having a little debate in the beginning about like who's gonna win?
It was. I also had a hard time understanding what's happening because he's like,
Yeah,
I think it was Soda and maybe Tevin, right? Like it's like I can. Oh no, you're right. It was the Green
yeah.
Tribe. It was the Green Tribe,
No,
and it's like I can take it or
no,
whatever.
no, no,
So
no, 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 no. It was Benyu and Soda. It was the purple and the
ah,
and
so
the
I
orange tribe. If
so
I'm
and
correct, unless I missed something.
no, no, no. It was definitely her tribe against another tribe. So it was
Yeah.
orange. She's in orange. I cannot remember exactly who it was on that the other side, but it was a little bit strange because I also couldn't hear
It
what was it
was.
that they said. I'm gonna have to rewatch it to see exactly how the
Yeah.
wording was. But like you can tell that like Jeff was kind of like poking, like oh,
Yeah, and they
but
were all like, "Oh, I think it was Ben." I really want to say it was Ben You. And please, people in the chat, please comment if I'm correct about this. But I feel like it was Ben You, and I feel like it was Soda, and I feel like they were talking about who was going to win or whatever. And Soda was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." Jeff also, which I found funny, and we forgot to mention, Venus put on a bandana on the immunity tribe idol, which was so funny. And Jeff, like literally, I've never he Jeff is with the quickness. He pulled out. He's like, "Man, I got my knife with me." Cut that shit right off. He was like, "We're not doing that here. I don't know what you think this is." Like
oh,
that killed me. Okay.
and you know what? Knowing the show, he probably that's exactly how it happened. Like I'm sure there's no edit behind to kind of figure that out or like taking time. I'm sure it happened almost like on the spot. Like, oh, you think I don't have a knife here? Boom. So I'm sure just what we watched, it was pretty close to what happened.
I 100% believe that. Okay, so just to kind of go over this challenge, the tribes had to dig up two wheels, put it on their cart. Basically, their cart is like a wheelbarrow. They're going to continue through the course. They're going to get two chests that have some pieces in it. It's going to be heavy, but they have to dig it. And then once they get their wheelbarrow with their two chest boxes over there. They're going to open it and put the puzzle together. It's going to say a word, but the tricky part about this is that it's going to be a word that's going to be in the arch. Now, we have seen this challenge before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't did they do it on your season or I feel like they might have did it on 45.
I want to say it was 45. It definitely wasn't
Okay.
mine.
Okay, that's what I thought. I feel like we've seen this challenge, and this challenge is hard. I do want to point out real quick, Liz and Mo sitting out, having a coffee date, having a girls' day out. Like, hey girl, how you doing? I'm doing good. How was the weather for you, girl? Oh, it was great. How was it for you, girl? You know the bugs. They were just not listening to us today. We didn't really eat. Well, girl, we had some good coconut the other day. Like, girl, I was like, what the? Like these girls are
But
over
here,
here talking.
here's the thing about that, right? That's strategy right there. Like you're trying to make connections. You heard, I think it was Mo telling Liz, I love your glasses or whatever it was that she said.
Yeah, girl.
Right there, you're feeding a little bit on just trying to make a relationship because you don't know, you're kind of thinking, okay, when we merge, I may end up playing with these people. So you're really trying to figure out how do I make them my friend from the get-go.
Like you were saying, you said it was good for strategy for them to be talking on the side. So
Yes. So talking in the bench, I think it's part of the strategy, right? I think we heard Mo telling Liz, or one of them telling the other, I love your glasses. So in general, that is very much part of the strategy to kind of make friendships behind whoever that is, because you're thinking merge. Like when you merge, you're gonna have to play with these people, and you're gonna have to find something to kind of get a hook to kind of like connect with them, and it starts from the bench. So that was part of
Yeah,
the
I
strategy.
agree. I agree. Yeah, definitely I agree with that. It seems like Nami is in the lead once again, okay? I'm gonna cut through everything and get right to the puzzle part because that is where it really goes down at.
Yes.
All the teams are working on the puzzle at the same time. And I think if I'm correct, the puzzle word said persistent.
Persistence.
Yes, persistence. So I was very like, okay, wow, this is great. It seems like one person from each tribe figures it out. It was hard to watch. It was a nail biter. Like you can tell that, of course, it seems a little chaotic because everyone's not really thinking. Everybody's just moving. But in reality, you probably need the tallest person to be in the
The
middle.
middle, right?
Yes, and I don't think they really catched up on that. But Nami starts like putting this puzzle together. Then Sigga's putting this puzzle together. Then Purple starts putting this puzzle together, and it's just chaotic. They're falling pieces. People are getting upset with each other. I will point out, at one point, Orange did have it, but
Misspelled.
misspelled, and I was like, damn, that is hard to watch. How do
Yeah.
you think you would have done in this challenge?
Well, first of all, I think let me put this into context, right? This is about day 5, I think they said.
Yes, it is day 5. Yes.
And this is where you haven't quite been eating, right? So you go from regular lifestyle, you eat and everything, and then all of a sudden your body's going through this withdrawal of not eating for a week almost, right? Like 5 days. So your mind doesn't quite work the way that it typically does, right? So food is totally necessary for everything to function the right way. So I do think there's an aspect of not eating affecting a little bit of what's happening. Truly,
Yeah.
because I went through that, so I can tell you it is freaking hard, right?
Girl, I'm jealous. I need to go through that. Like I need to be
No,
starved and not eating.
no. I mean, you have to do the right way. That's not the right way. But anyway, so you saw them. It said, I think they had the S in the wrong position, and it's like, yes, they're celebrating, and you hear as a viewer, you're like, it's not
Right.
right. So it was a little bit sad. Not, spoiler alert, they ended up winning it, and they got it
Yes.
right. But it's
Yes.
it's one of those where it's like, I truly think, because at home it's so easy to like just say, put the tallest person in the middle,
Of
and
course.
the people on the end are just holding the base. Like the power of the arch is a real. I'm an engineer, so I'll get technical. There is a real like technique behind it, but you're like, don't do this, do that. So at home it's so easy as a viewer
Yes.
to say do this and do that, but when you're
Yeah.
there, you haven't eaten for 5 days, and you don't quite know what the puzzle is until you see it there on the spot. It really is hard when you're
Oh, I
there.
believe it. I was
Yeah.
thinking like, what? I was like, what? Like, how are they going to do this? But I also want to point out that Vanessa was trying to communicate with the team and trying to get them to kind of like listen to her and stuff like that. And I will say this because. And we'll get into that a little bit later because we call that out. But because there is some big personalities, I could see that. Sig
Yeah.
is also having a hard time. Purple Tribe is also having a hard time. So then it comes down to green and purple. And purple
Yes.
is falling apart. I felt so bad to watch. But I will say this. With Benyu and Banya, excuse me, I might be saying it wrong, and I apologize.
Banu,
Yes,
maybe.
Benyu. I'm so sorry. I apologize on the Royalty Podcast. I got to get it right. But with him and Jess, and he's very emotional. He's very like, he's a lot. And here's the thing about him. To me, I'm glad that he does show his emotion and he really is like that because I can read that as a player. But just dropping pieces, not moving at a quick pace. I wonder because, and this is a question, and I don't know if you can answer this. Maybe I'm breaking some rules here. If I'm correct, Jess was talking about she had ADHD, and I wonder if she was taking medication for it, and I wonder if the medication Are you allowed to take medication when you're on Survivor, or do they
I
take that away?
I cannot speak to that only
Got
because
it.
I didn't go through that situation,
Okay,
right?
okay, okay,
I don't know what regulations. Now, there's people in
okay.
my season that had some conditions. I don't
Huh.
know what kind of agreements they
Okay.
may have for them, right? So
Got it.
I cannot speak to it just because I don't have the
No
experience.
worries.
But independently of that, right? I mean, I also wonder, like, can you take medication without any food, without
No,
affecting other
correct. That's what I'm
parts?
wondering. I
So,
think there was a season where somebody was saying, and I think it was if I'm correct, it is one of the players. They were transgender, and I think they were talking about some of the things that they were taking, and they couldn't take it no more because they are now on Survivor. So I
mhm.
was just trying to figure that out, and I wonder that goes across for all medication, which I'm just gonna just say myself, I think probably you're right. No, no, you might not have the food, you might not have the stuff to really take that on the
Right.
show. So she was struggling, but just watching her do this challenge, it was just frustrating because it's like she just couldn't coordinate what to do, and there was
Yeah.
no one really taking a leadership role. And Ben Hughes yelling and screaming when he yelled Jessica, baby, I felt that through the screen. Like
I
he's not
know.
playing. He's like, I have to be here until the merge, or this whole thing of me getting like my citizenship and everything else was not worth it. Like he is making it clear, I have to make it through this game. You cannot get us eliminated this quickly, and I felt
And
that.
but at the same time, and this came up in tribal council later on. There is something really important about this game, and most of our, like, the CBS reality shows. There's something so important and strong when you also can control your emotions, because and I am all about, go deep, dig deep, be emotional, be yourself, but you have to learn to control it in order to use it to your advantage. Once it start
Yes.
hurting you, it's gonna become really, really hard for him or anybody who is in that situation to win a game like this unless you can control
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Now, but there has been seasons. Last season, we saw someone who started a little bit of a roller coaster and they started controlling it. So maybe
Yeah.
this is an experience for him to grow and start learning how to control some of his emotion. Maybe, maybe
Yeah.
not. It's yet to be seen. But it's one of those where if he keeps doing that, he's gonna make more enemies than allies, and
I agree.
that's just gonna hurt his game. So unfortunately, I mean, I felt sad. I felt sad for him and for her because I can understand the frustration. I'm so competitive, but for her, it's like she's trying. I mean, sometimes not everyone's gonna have the same abilities. So
Of course, it was
it
tough to
was a tough
watch.
one. It was a
So
tough one.
So purple team loses. Jeff does ask them how he feels. There was a moment that Tiffany, said she's pissed and she's not going to say anything because she got to keep her mouth closed, which kind of showed a little bit of I like Tiffany's, like, outside Tiffany, not gamer Tiffany.
Hmm.
And I felt really bad when when that happened. Jess also feels like she's a target. She's making it clear to Jeff, like, I messed up. My team was yelling at me. I'm the target. It does cut to Kenzie saying in a little bit of green screen that Ben, you can't handle the pressure, which kind
Hmm.
of makes me feel like he can't handle the pressure. Okay, and Jess is just dropping pieces. Okay, we do cut to the Orange Tribe. I just want to speed this up a little bit. Vanessa
Hmm.
kind of talks about how she's upset with what I was saying earlier, how she wasn't able to communicate because of the fact that, like, you guys are just not listening to me. She hurt her toe and she's pissed. I get that as a player because once you hurt yourself, it can, ruin your chances throughout the game. And she was very upset with that. Do you think that her emotions of saying that to Tevin and saying that to Soda and the tribe, do you think that was a good move for her? Because she kind of said with the big personalities, she's ready to get rid of them and she's going to try to use Randy's, idol when he gets it, or whatever, immunity idol. I'm sorry, yeah, idol, to kind of get them out, or get them out at first merge or whatever. Like, what is your
Hmm.
thoughts? Do you think that was smart for her to speak up like that?
And that was Venus, right? That said that.
Venus, did I say somebody else? I'm so sorry. Venus, yes. I might have called her Vanessa. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Venus or whatever. Sorry.
I love it so much.
Welcome. This is Survivor with Big D 101, where you don't know what you're going to get. You might get the whole plot, but you might not know all the characters. So we're trying over here.
I think I don't know if I agree with the way she's playing. I think she's trying anything at this moment, right? It just sounds like she's just trying anything. I don't get her strategy. It doesn't seem like I can understand. I think she's just dabbing for whatever she can grab, whatever she can get at the moment. So I don't quite agree with some of, I mean, maybe, I mean, you have to understand that, right? Like, if you don't have agency at all, and nothing that you're saying is catching on. And we saw in episode 1, Soda took the whole, whenever they won the immunity
Oh my God, yes, I
statue.
want to talk about that. I realized that episode 1, that was very awkward. Like, I didn't like that.
I,
It was very weird.
Very strange, and she noticed it because she talks about it in this episode, right? And I feel like the one that didn't notice was Soda. Like, you have to also be careful with those little things because Soda's gonna gain an enemy again, so you have to be so on point with everything you do. I don't know if Soda realized she did that, but
I don't
you
think that she did.
right, but you can clearly tell that Venus understands that she is in the bottom. So and she talks
Yes.
about it in this episode. So I do think she's trying pretty much anything to try to find allies for herself.
Yes.
It's not working out quite yet, and I am afraid if they lose, she could easily be the first one out.
I do 100% agree with that. That's what kind of makes me a little nervous, just because of the fact that I just feel like because of how she said it, it just puts a target on her back. But like you said, Heidi, day 5, not like no food, emotions are high, and these players are playing. Like they're moving so fast. I'm like, whoa, okay. But let's get to the loser tribe. Unfortunately, the purple tribe. Tiffany does. I want to point this out because this is a very important subject. Because I know what this is like as a black person. I know a lot of black players and especially black women. They do get the edit sometimes or the target depth because the way they might talk. People think like, oh, she's aggressive. She's an angry black woman. And Tiffany kind of goes into she's just upset with herself because these other tribes don't know her and she doesn't want people to think that. And unfortunately we live in a society where people think that, and it's sad to that people can't express themselves or be themselves without being labeled the angry black person or the angry black woman. And I'm glad that she did bring that up, and I think we just need to, with these competition shows, I think we're getting better and better at not using those type of terms or putting that stereotype on certain people. And that was something that kind of, it definitely touched me in the heart because I know what that feels like if somebody feels that way, and I've seen that happen on numerous of reality shows to black women where they get that type of edit. Now, and Survivor is not that type of show for that, but or any of these shows. We cut to Tiffany suggesting she comes up with a plan with Kenzie. Her and Kenzie comes up with this plan to make this fake idol to get Jessica to get the fake idol. How do you feel? Because I've had this conversation last year. How do you feel about the fake idol situation?
Well, so
I
let
feel
me
like it's
let
a
me
game within a game.
yeah, let me tell you about Tiffany because I have so much to say about that, but I'll keep it soft and quick.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I don't walk in the same shoes as you or Tiffany, but I
Yeah.
love everything about it, right?
Me
So
too.
I love that she mentioned like I'm gonna keep the because she was angry, you can tell. I'm gonna keep my comments to myself, right? And she
Yes.
was able to control that. And then they show a soft moment of her later on in a confessional. She's crying and she's talking a little bit about it. I love that for her. It shows so much maturity, so much strength in who she is as a person and who she is as a player. So props for her. I We need more Tiffany's in this world. We need more
We
Tiffany's
do. I'm
in the
really
games.
loving Tiffany. I'm really loving Tiffany. And that's not,
Yeah.
it might just be a thing. Maybe I just love Tiffany's. I have my own Tiffany that drives me up the wall. But other than that, I love her to death. But these Tiffany's are just knocking it out the park on these competition shows.
Yeah, so I love everything about her in the game too, right? So give me Tiffany all the way until final 3 if we can. So just getting it out about Tiffany.
Yes,
But
yes.
going back to the whole fake idols, I don't mind it. As a player, I love the creativity and all of that. The only part that bugged me a little bit is how Q it almost looked a little bit like I don't want to say bullying Jess, but it was kind of cruel, right? And I get
No,
the fact.
it was
I,
cool. It was definitely like you don't. It's like because keep in mind, Tiffany tried to take her to go find the idol.
yeah.
And Jess kind of made me kind of like I kind of had to look at her and go, girl, what? Because she's like, let's look. We're looking. Let's both look. Let's see if we can find it. And Jess is just kind
Oh,
of like. I don't know. I'm gonna go back.
yeah.
I'm gonna go back. Like Jessica is having a hard time, and she was like, "Girl, I'm trying to get this." She tells Kenzie, "I'm trying to get this girl to get the idol." So then at that point, Q's like, they tell Q about the plan, and then Q's like, "Man, I'll just give it to her and just tell her." And the way that he said it to her, which was great at first, but then when she comes back around,
Hmm.
Heidi, to kind of go off your point of saying like, are you sure this is an idol? Because it looks like all the like she's putting pieces together. I don't think Jess is dumb. I think that she definitely is a strategist in some type of way. I think that she's just struggling because of what she said at the beginning of trying to keep up with everything and her ADHD. But that might also be part of her game.
Yeah, well, I get why she double checked with him, and let's be honest. This is Survivor. This is a game of deceit. I love a good lie. It just, as a viewer at the time, I was like, oh, that's so cruel, poor girl. But at the same time, I want to shake Jess and be like, girl, like, play harder. Like, come on, like, food you can eat after you go home. Like, don't, like, play harder. I really, really, as a viewer, wanted her to fight for it, and she just didn't have it in her.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I know they're playing the game. Nothing against Q at all. It just came across as a viewer. I was like, oh, that's so cruel.
Yeah,
But
of course.
but he's trying to win the game, and I love that. So
Listen,
it's okay.
Q's doing great, and if Q gets a villain edit, let him get the villain edit. I don't care. He's
Yeah.
doing great. I gotta give it to him. Just to kind of wrap up everything that kind of happens in this tribe, and
Hmm.
please stop me if I miss anything. Once again, Tiffany gives fake information to Jess. Her and Jess have a conversation. She gives fake information saying that she thinks that Ben Yu should go next. Jess then tells Q that Tiffany said Ben Yu. Q's kind of like, oh, look, he's in the best position. He's like, I got Ben Yu. He trusts me. I got Jess. So if I tell him to write down Kenzie, because it seems like Q wants to get rid of Kenzie because he feels like Kenzie is like a big threat to his game. And he's not wrong about that. She is a big threat.
Exactly.
She's like,
Hmm.
my loyalty is to Tiffany and that is it. Nobody else. So we cut to Tribal. Okay.
And
And
it's wild. It's a little wild. Banu loses it, right? Like you can hear him almost disclosing, "I'm voting with this, and that." Like it was so interesting. He did it in the first episode. Now he did it twice in the second episode. He's a loose cannon. If
he
I'm a
is a
player,
loose cannon.
if I'm there in the purple tribe, right, and I'm hearing this happening, I would probably not want to play with him because you
No.
cannot have. I mean, I want to be in his good side, and I would fake that we are in an
Yeah.
alliance or whatever. But
Yeah.
I would not want to be. I cannot trust him. If I'm gonna tell him something, he's
You
gonna tell
can't tell him.
everyone. You can tell him, and you
No.
cannot have allies, true allies that are loose cannons.
Yes.
You and I know that very
Yes.
well.
Yes, no, of course. Oh, yeah, trust me. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I will say this. The thing that I did pick up on this whole tribal as they would continue, Tiffany kind of talks about, we have to consider, we lost 2 games back to back. Like, we got to figure out, do we want to get rid of somebody that's holding us back or do we want to get rid of somebody else? Then Jessica talks about it being a dog eat dog world. She kind of calls out Kenzie because she's like, girl, you didn't talk to me the whole day. And this is why I am kind of liking Jessica because she turned around to talk to her to let her know like, girl, you didn't talk to me the whole time. So let's talk now and it's already too late. And I really had to give her that because that was really kudos to do that at Tribal. Then we get to
However, there's a big however. When
yes.
Banu was like losing it because he was
Whew.
sinking his own ship, right? I feel like
Yeah.
she should have been fighting for herself. Use that as an opportunity. If you have an inkling that your idol is fake and you have an inkling that it could be even you, like your name could come up, that was a huge opportunity to be like, you see, guys, you rather keep a loose cannon or you like rather keep me? I think she could have like being a little bit louder in tribal council to defend herself.
Yeah, she had
So
opportunity.
at the same time, I feel like she could have used that whole Banu situation in a better way for herself, and
Yeah.
maybe she did, and we didn't see it. I don't know, but definitely, I feel like they would have shown us if she was fighting for her life, and it just didn't
Yeah.
come across that way. So maybe she was just relying on the idol that we all
Yeah,
know it was fake. But
she was definitely struggling with that. But Banyu going off killed me because Banyu went to he first talked to Kenzie. He's like, what do we do? Then he gets up and he goes talks to Tiffany. My favorite thing that Tiffany said tonight. She looked at him and said, "Stop making the block hot."
yeah, yeah.
Girl, I said, Tiffany better come on from the hood. She said, stop making the block hot. Like, and the way that she cocked her head and said it, I said, that's Tiffany from the streets, baby. That's not Tiffany from Survivor, okay? And then he goes to Q and he's like, what do I do? Like, I just never seen, and this tribe is so small, but then he kind of goes into saying, like, because the way he's going off, he knows he's going off, but then he kind of goes into saying, I wouldn't do this at the merge. And they all
Yeah.
looking at each other like, this dude's a cannon. Like, but I feel like in reality, I don't know. It's sticky because if they end up in the bottom in the future again, let's say they end up losing again, I would want to get rid of him. But then on top of that, I'm like, at least I know he ain't gonna keep nothing, and I could get it out of him. So I'd rather get rid of somebody else.
Yeah.
Then Jeff says, "Oh, first of all, I don't know what it is this season with everyone saying it's time to vote, but now Q is now said it's time to vote. I don't know if we're going to
Yeah.
continue this trend, but I'm here for this because this is definitely different, and I'm surprised Jeff is not like, damn, these motherfuckers taking my job. But he says it's time to vote, and Jess plays the idol. Of course, it is fake. And she's very shocked, but she's also very applauded. She's like, wow, like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys pulled that off. And they all vote out Jess, okay? And then, I think Jess was a little bit, because even when she got up there, Jeff was like, are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah. Oh, that
I
was
don't know
wild.
I don't know what it was, but they vote out Jess, and then Benyu's kind of like, damn, like he feels stupid. He feels a little bit like, I can't believe I did all that,
I feel like
But
a fool, I think he said.
yes, what is your thoughts on tonight's episode? What do you think is going to happen next week? What needs to change? Give it to us, Heidi. Since you're an expert, give it to us.
In general, episode 1 and episode 2, super entertaining. I love that they have 2 hours, so we get to see things that are happening at camp. Keep giving me 90 minutes, 2 hours. I'm loving everything about it. I think 1 hour is very short. You don't get to see really the relationships of what, or just the dynamics of what's happening. So I'm loving it. The characters, the cast, this cast is really kick-ass.
I'm
I'm
not gonna
freaking,
lie, I was pretty shocked because when I looked at them and then I saw the previews of the videos, I was kind of like, ugh, they're not really giving. Where I felt like when I watched your season in 45, they were giving me so much. But I mean, I don't want to give them the title, but Jeff said this is the best season ever of Survivor, he's saying. And right now, I could kind of see it because it's chaos. These characters, like these are true characters. Like casting, shout out to Jesse and the casting team again. I mean, they're picking good people. Like
yeah,
really.
they do have great cast. So I'm loving everything about it. Now, here's the prediction, not so much for next week, but just in general, just seeing what's happening with Survivor. So this purple tribe seems to be like a mess, hot mess, right? And I could easily see them losing again next week or the following week. So they are going to possibly continue being a mess.
I just
However,
say they're gonna lose again.
however, whoever can survive from the purple tribe to make it to the merge, it's gonna be in a really sweet spot because the other tribes that have a lot more people and strength and all of that, they're going to be able to go in the middle or pick a side. choose a side. So whoever can actually, in general, whoever survives from purple could make it really, really far. And that has been proven for the new era every single time. So whoever can make it through, just stick with it because the suffering is gonna happen for a while, but if you make it to merge, you can make it super mega far.
I
So
agree. I
super
agree.
super excited to see what happens there. I think next week the whole Banu. I cannot even think that he's gonna continue. He's gonna control it. I don't know if they're gonna win it or not, but if they lose it, I could easily see him going home just because. Just like you and I said, the loose cannons are most.
I will say this, Heidi. I love Benyu for TV. Benyu reminds me of one of my old boss that I had at a job, who was exactly like him, but just a female version of him, and reminds me exactly like of him. And I just crack up because he's perfect for TV, and I love his drive and his passion. Those are the type of players that I love on these competition shows. They have drive and passion, and are there to win money. We didn't talk about it. I just want to throw out that who was it? Was it? Let me look at the picture real quick. I'm sorry, Heidi. Was it Liz? Liz talking about she don't need the money and she just here for the damn show.
What's she
Girl, get the fuck
doing?
off the fucking show because we all out here trying to get money. I was like, what the hell she talking about? She's just like, I'm
I don't
here
know.
for the experience, girl. Then go to summer camp. Go to summer camp. There's adult summer camps.
I do love the dynamics that she's so wild. You never know, like the list show or whatever it is that she said. But she has to understand this is not helping her game.
Heidi, she don't need the
Like,
money. She can go to an adult summer camp. I'm gonna send her some
oh,
pamphlets. There's plenty of
oh.
adult summer camps that she could be a part of. But Heidi,
So
listen, I'm not gonna hold you any longer because I know you got your daughters and everything. Heidi, what's next for you? Can I ask you, would you ever go back and do Survivor again?
I love it so much, 100%. If you call me, I'm already in Fiji. I love
Okay.
it so much. It's so fun. It's the big part of my life now, right? I love
Okay.
talking about it. So whenever you
Yes.
need me, I'll be here. I'll correct you in any name you get wrong.
Please do. And I'm hoping that for the rest of this time that every person I have on this podcast, the Recap Survivor, corrects me. I do want to know, Heidi, you're going to be going to the Pittsburgh event for Survivor. Are you going
Yes.
to any more? Are you going to maybe the New York one? Are you doing any other ones? Or
Well,
what's going
so
on for you?
So, and my real life keeps me very busy, including my full-time
Yes.
job. But
Yes.
I'll think this year I'm definitely gonna be at the Pittsburgh party for when
Okay.
Bryce. I'm
Okay.
going to be in the basketball game that same weekend. I'll
Yep.
probably end up going to the Rob has a podcast. He has an event in Chicago. So I probably go
Oh,
to that.
when? When?
May 8th, I want to say,
Damn,
is
we're gonna
that
miss each
Wednesday.
other because I'm going to
Oh,
Chicago in April for the Bryson Win
ah.
Survivor one. Okay,
But
good.
maybe, maybe for the finale. I haven't made plans at all. I don't even
Okay,
know when it is, but I would love to make it to the finale of 46. So
okay.
maybe I'll see you there. We'll see
I
what
would love
happens.
that. I would love that. Okay, so Heidi, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I love your energy. I cannot wait to see you soon, of course. I can't wait for your daughters to beat up on me the whole damn time because they got so much energy.
I
I
I
see you
know.
in CrossFit. Are you doing the open wads right now?
I am. Oh my God. My crazy life. I did a half marathon on Saturday that kicked my butt
Girl,
because
not a
it
half
was.
marathon.
And then I did 24.1 just like a day after. So I'm sore as heck, but I'm
Oh,
still doing it. So I'm doing it on
listen,
Friday.
you are a beautiful mother. You are a strong mother. I love
Thank
that you are
you.
representing Puerto Rico, the Spanish heritage, everything. Like you just keep it up, Heidi.
Thank you.
I love everything about you, and I'm so glad to have you on the podcast. Now, Heidi, let everybody know where they can follow you. And do you also say you do a podcast yourself? What
Yes.
are you recapping? Are you recapping
Well,
Survivor, or
not
what's going
quite.
on? Talk about it.
Not quite. Let me tell
Okay.
you about it. So I
Yeah.
have a new podcast called Reality Check with Heidi and Brad.
Oh.
So I do have a partner in crime helping me with some of the podcast stuff because there's a lot, there's a lot going on. But what we do is we talk with all kinds of reality TV people, and it's not so much recapping per se of episodes, more about where are they at today, what are they doing, obviously their story and experience of their show. So we had a few people, Naked and Afraid. We're gonna have some people from Big Brother. We have people from Hell's Kitchen. Edition. Oh my God, Sky's the Limit, people from The Bachelor. So all kinds of reality
Oh my
TV.
God, I love that.
So it's just really to get to know them and just getting a little behind the scenes about who they are as a person and just chatting. So it's been so fun, and I've met so many people outside of Survivor or the CBS shows. It's been super, super fun.
I love
So
that.
yes,
Make sure you call me if you need me. I would definitely
I
come, of
will.
course. And then
Absolutely.
also get some people from Next Level Chef, because I love Next Level Chef. I love Next Level Chef.
Yes,
But this
yes.
is great. Okay, so do you have any episodes out, or where can people check you out or follow?
Yeah.
Let us
So
know.
obviously it's social media. So we just kicked it off this year. So we only have 2 episodes out and we are just starting, but we have a lot of content already. So it's super exciting. But follow me in general. I use all the social media. So it's at Heidi Lagares, one word. Just my first name and my first last name and first last name, because I have 2 last names. So I'm easy to find because I have the same name throughout everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. So I'm the most active probably in Instagram, and you could see a lot of what's coming from the podcast in there as well.
I
So,
love that. And I'm going to put your Instagram handle in the description
awesome.
of this video. So, guys, please go give Heidi a follow. Show her some love. And, Heidi, thank you so much. All right.
Love you.
Love you. Mwah.
I'll see you.
Oh my God, I didn't know it does hearts. It just gave me hearts. I love that. That's great. I love you, and I will see you soon. And I'm going to
see you
still work
soon.
on my Spanish with my 5 words that I know, okay? That can help me get through.
I'm going to test you when I see you in April, but I'll see you very soon then.
I will see you soon, love, all right? Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.